John Harder's. I'm always excited, right, about these coaching videos that I do. There's a lot of experience and expertise that I share, and every now and then I really, really enjoy talking about the topic. And today's topic, I can share with you guys and talk to you guys about it for hours and days. And I do have a few things that I really want you to truly understand, right? But you have to wait until the end because there's several things at the end that I think not only will you enjoy listening to, but things that you can apply daily in order to create separation. Because I do think that the goal here is to be the best, right? And the best is always, it's very subjective. There is never a clear path. There's never, all right, these are the steps that we can take in order for us to be the best. But I think that it's obvious that if the goal is to be the best, you can't be common, right? You can't be the same. Because how could you possibly be the best if you're like everybody else? It's just not possible. So I've got a few important things to share with you guys. And again, I'm saving the best for last. So wait until the end. For those of you guys who have been part of my coaching and have heard me talk about whether it's Swarm and or who we are and what we're creating, the technology, the rare humans that are on staff. The goal is always to create a moat, right? And for those of you guys who don't know what a moat is, I'm not going to go into this. I've explained it over and over again, but truly understand the meaning of a moat. It's that body of water that surrounds a castle, right? And deeper and wider is always the goal. And I think that the market right now demands you really focusing on what your moat looks like and how much deeper and wider you can build your moat. It's shifting, right? It's been shifting for a while now, and it's not rewarding the agents who are louder. It's not rewarding the agents that always say, "Oh, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy," or count on luck. There's no way the market's going to reward those agents. The agents that are actually winning are the ones that are different, the ones that are rare, right? And rare, I don't think, and you can agree with me on this. Rare doesn't happen by accident. It's built intentionally, right? I always say you have to be very explicit with your actions. In To a fault, most agents are treated like commodities, right? Because that's all they act like. They present themselves like commodities. They present like themselves as vehicles, right? And pretty much all these vehicles look the same. Same listings, same posts, same talking points, same pitch, same script. I always make fun of the script that the fairies tell you to use when you're door knocking expires, right? They're all the same. They all sound the same, look the same, they post the same. Everything is pretty much very, very similar, right? And what happens when you're the same? When you're the same, you now start competing against yourself, right? All of a sudden, now you're competing against price, right? And competing against price is my opinion, a race to the very, very bottom. I think it's worse than catching a falling knife. You're gonna get cut. So I read this article on Inman this morning that said if you want separation, your content and your business must clearly signal why you're so different, right? And they talked about four pillars and four places that offer distinction, right? And where it actually comes from. I think there are five, but I'll give you their four first. I'll put my spin on a couple of them, and then I'll give you my fifth, which is I think is the most important, and the article and the author truly miss. So the first one we always talk about, right? It's inventory, right? What you sell, what you're in control of. So if you're showing things like properties that are on Zillow or Redfin, you're not adding true value, right? You're simply forwarding links. Rare agents, they control access. This is why we built Swarm the way we built it. We wanted to talk to your contacts, your clients, your database about early inventory, off-market opportunities, right? Sending out off-market emails once a week. It's huge, and really shows that you're completely different in a sea of sameness with your database, your niche property types, a clear point of view, for example, on what should be bought or sold and why, right? You're not the person that says sell everything. No, you have a clear path and strategy behind every single thing that you're asking your client to move. The article mentions community, and community is very broad, right? What does community mean? I'd like to take a different approach to it. I think there's a niche, and what I'm going to ask you to specifically focus on is your professional community. And I've talked about this so many times, and so many years I've been talking to you guys about the same exact thing. Who you know matters, right? Who you break bread with really matters. Your proximity to other professionals, people like attorneys, electricians, builders, investors, business owners, that signals credibility. Clients just don't hire you. They just don't hire agents. They hire networks, right? Trust compounds. Think about this. If I'm going to work with you, it means that I'm going to be working with everybody you know, and I'm willing to pay for that type of network. The third kind of pillar that it mentions is expertise, right? But let's dive in a little bit here. What's expertise? Expertise is someone that understands how to solve a problem, right? You've been through this thousands of other times, and you're able to save people a lot of headaches. So information, that's cheaper than table salt, right? You can find that on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, right? Your audience doesn't need more information. Rare agents don't just answer questions; they solve problems other people avoid or just don't understand. Like financing, for example. Do you understand financing? What about timing? Timing is huge, right? If you're going to put the property on the market, when are you going to put the property on the market? Are you the type of person that's going to look in the market, look in the area, look in the 2 block radius, and see how many listings there are for sale? And if there are none, right? Are you going to push and make your client feel uncomfortable to put their client to put their property on the market immediately? Yes, right? Are you someone who understands negotiation? Are you someone who understands risk, right? Where do long-term outcomes come from? So your expertise, being your third pillar, and being a problem solver is something that you constantly need to include in the content that you provide online. And speaking of online, the fourth pillar is obviously branding, right? I call it, I don't want to I don't want to be that company that just because my logo or our logo is front and center, they recognize us, right? I want recognition without explanation, right? If our logo disappeared tomorrow, if anybody saw us, saw our agent, saw our listing, would they automatically recognize us without even the logo on the sign? That should be the goal. Rare agents are recognizable by what they say, their voice, how they think, and how consistent they are, right? Branding isn't just about colors, it's about being memorable. It's the minute that anybody thinks about real estate or any help that they need, they automatically think about you. That's what branding is. So definitely focus on those four, review those four. But my fifth and my favorite, and this is something that's for me specific, and I don't think it's ever mentioned, right? I think it's what separates successful agents from truly wealthy agents, right? I've been talking about this since the jump, since the beginning of my career. And that's leveraged through the success of others, right? Most people chase success by asking, how do I get paid? It's always about me, 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 me. You want to be rare. You want to be that person that really is different. The question is, who can I help win? And how do I do that? That's the goal here, right? The principle is to succeed, get others to pay you, to be wealthy, help other people succeed. That's the motto here. Agents who build their business around helping others win, right? Clients, partners, vendors, teammates, those types of agents become unavoidable, right? Opportunities all of a sudden find them, right? Referrals all of a sudden compound. I think influence, that's what we're all chasing. It grows when you're that type of agent without even you looking for it, without even you asking for it. So I think the focus needs to be on the fifth pillar. And I think the fifth pillar shows up in very real ways, right? You create value first. You introduce people without really keeping score. I introduce you to him. Don't do that, right? Just introduce people to each other. You never expect a referral, for example. I've always told you this, but you're always the first one to recommend someone else. You ask me for someone, and if I really truly believe in that person, there's a very good chance I'm going to jump at the opportunity to refer you, right? You're the one who solves problems even when there's no immediate commission attached to it. There's no need for a payday for you to do what needs to be done. You build ecosystems, not transactions. And I don't think I think this is a multiplier. I think this specific pillar multiplies the other four, right? If you really focus on other people's success, I think your inventory spreads faster. I think your professional communities, they deepen. You have a lot better, you surround yourself with a lot better people, more influential people. I think your experience and your expertise gets trusted a lot sooner, right? If you have more influence, if you really focus on being rare, people trust you more, and then obviously your brand becomes synonymous with opportunity, with wealth, with strategy, right? That's what I think this fifth pillar does. It multiplies the first four. So being rare isn't just about you selling or what you know, right? I think that's the focus in most agents. And that's why I said in the beginning, when we act like commodities, right? I think you need to really understand who becomes better in this world because of you. I think your existence is a big deal. And I talk about this so many times. Like, why were you born, right? So it's not just how you build your business, but it's how you build wealth. That needs to be the standard. Rare needs to be the standard. Being rare isn't just about doing more. It's about being deliberate. It's about being explicit. It's about being intentional. And these are not just words. You have to actually think about your actions each and every single day. Your content has got to reinforce these five pillars, not four, these five pillars. Otherwise, you're just blending in, and blending in is the is the fastest way to become replaceable, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want average, right? I want you guys to have this um, this allergic reaction to being average, because average is one thing that John Harder's should never ever be about. Cheers.